In July 1954, Tokyo's Haneda airport was buzzing with activity. Travelers from all over the world arrived and departed, each carrying their own stories, lives, and destinations. Among these passengers was a man who looked perfectly ordinary. He wore a dark, neatly pressed suit and carried a well-worn leather briefcase. His hair was carefully combed back, and he walked with the practiced ease of a seasoned traveler. No one would have guessed that he was about to become part of one of the most mysterious and unexplained stories of the Cold War era. When the man reached the immigration checkpoint, he handed his passport to the officer without hesitation. The officer took it and began to examine it carefully. At first, the passport appeared normal. It was well used, filled with stamps and visas from many countries across Europe and Asia. But then the officer noticed something strange. The country listed as the issuing authority was Taured. The officer looked up from the passport and asked, confused, "Taured? Where is that country?" The man answered calmly and without hesitation. "Between France and Spain," he said. "It's a small country just like Andorra, but it's called Taured." The officer pulled out a map and pointed to the tiny principality of Andorra, nestled in the Pyrenees Mountains. But the man shook his head in disbelief and frustration. "No, not Andorra," he said firmly, pointing to the same spot. "Taured has been there for centuries. It is an old country." The officers looked at each other, confused and uneasy. They could find no record of any country named Taured. No maps, atlases, or official documents showed its existence. Despite the confusion, the man appeared genuine. He spoke French with a European accent, but was also fluent in Japanese. His manners and behavior were calm and polite, typical of a businessman. His passport was detailed, with official stamps and visas from many countries. He carried money from different currencies, including Japanese yen, French francs, and Spanish pesetas. Everything about him suggested he was who he claimed to be, a traveler from Taured on a business trip to Tokyo. The immigration officials began to ask more questions. They wanted to know what company he worked for, what business he was conducting in Japan, and where he would be staying. The man gave names of companies and addresses, but when the officials tried to verify them, they found no records. The phone numbers he provided were disconnected, and the hotel where he claimed to have a reservation had no record of him. This only deepened the mystery. How could a man have such detailed documents and papers, yet leave no trace? Because of the growing suspicion, the authorities decided to detain him for further questioning. They arranged for him to stay overnight in a hotel near the airport. The hotel room was on a high floor with no balconies or fire escapes. Guards were placed outside the door to ensure he did not leave. The man's briefcase was taken for inspection. Inside were more currencies, business cards, and documents, all seeming authentic but leading nowhere. The man cooperated fully but grew increasingly anxious and confused. He kept insisting that there must be a mistake, that his country existed, and that he had traveled many times to Japan before. He showed the guards his passport and business papers again and again, hoping someone would believe him. But every attempt to confirm his story failed. It was as if the man came from a place that existed only in his mind. That night, the guards took turns watching the door. The room was secure. The windows were locked and could not be opened. The man was not allowed to leave. Yet when the guards checked the room the next morning, it was empty. The man had vanished without a trace. The door was still locked from the inside, and no one had seen or heard anything unusual. The authorities searched the hotel and surrounding area, but found no sign of the man. His briefcase and personal belongings were gone as well. Surveillance cameras did not capture anyone leaving the room. It was as if the man had simply disappeared into thin air. This baffling disappearance sparked rumors and theories. Some thought the man was a spy, using a fabricated identity to move undetected during the tense Cold War period. Others believed he was part of a secret experiment or government cover-up. But no evidence ever surfaced to support these ideas. Many people were drawn to more extraordinary explanations. Some suggested that the man was from a parallel universe, a world similar to ours but with subtle differences, including the existence of a country called Taured. According to this theory, the man accidentally crossed over into our reality, bringing his passport and memories with him, only to be pulled back to his own world. Others speculated he was a time traveler, displaced from his own time and caught between moments, lost and unable to return. Many people were drawn to more extraordinary explanations. Some suggested that the man was from a parallel universe, a world similar to ours but with subtle differences, including the existence of a country called Taured. According to this theory, the man accidentally crossed over into our reality, bringing his passport and memories with him, only to be pulled back to his own world. Others speculated he was a time traveler, displaced from his own time and caught between moments, lost and unable to return. The story of the man from Taured remains one of the strangest and most unsettling mysteries of the 20th century. Despite investigations, no concrete answers have ever been found. The man's identity, origin, and fate remain unknown. His disappearance challenges everything we understand about identity, geography, and reality itself. Today, the tale is told quietly among airport workers, conspiracy theorists, and paranormal researchers. It is a story that warns us to question what we accept as real and to remain open to the unknown. Because sometimes the most ordinary places, an airport, a hotel room, can hide mysteries far beyond our understanding. No one knows if the man from Taured ever existed outside of that brief moment in Tokyo, or if he still walks unseen in some other world or time, waiting for another chance to cross back into ours.